Every 4 years, the entire planet loses its mind. Not over a movie, not over a music event, not over any political summit, over a sport, over a ball, over 22 people running on a patch of grass. The 2022 FIFA World Cup final was watched by over 1.5 billion people in a single day. That's one in every 5 humans alive on Earth, all watching the same game at the same time. Let that sit for a second. The Super Bowl, arguably America's biggest sporting event, pulls around 115 million viewers. The World Cup final pulled more than 10 times that. So, what is it? Why does football do this? Why does this tournament, held once every 4 years, make entire countries come to a standstill? Why do people who don't even watch football all year suddenly become obsessed for a month? That's exactly what we're going to answer today. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the FIFA World Cup isn't just the biggest sporting event on Earth. It might be the biggest event on Earth. And once you understand why, you'll never look at it the same way again. Let's start at the very beginning. Football, or soccer if you're American, is the most played sport in human history. Not the most watched, the most played. There are children kicking a ball in the streets of Brazil, in the slums of Lagos, in the mountains of Bolivia, in the suburbs of Tokyo. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need a gym. You just need a ball. Sometimes you don't even need that. Kids in poorer countries have played with bundled-up plastic bags. That accessibility is the first secret. Football spread everywhere because anyone could play it. And when a sport is played everywhere, it becomes part of culture, not just entertainment, identity. In Argentina, how well your national team plays isn't just a sports story, it's a national mood. When Argentina wins, people cry in the streets. When they lose, the country goes silent. Now, here's where the World Cup becomes something different entirely. Every sport has a world championship of some kind. The NBA has the finals, American football has the Super Bowl, baseball has the World Series. But here's something interesting. The World Series is almost entirely American. It doesn't actually involve the world. The FIFA World Cup is different. 211 countries enter qualification. That's more member nations than the United Nations has. Let that sink in. The World Cup includes more countries than the most powerful political organization on the planet. Teams from every continent, every culture, every economic background, all competing for one trophy. One golden trophy that every single one of them wants more than almost anything else. The qualification process alone takes 2 years. Teams play dozens of games just to earn a spot. Only 32 make it to the tournament itself. So by the time you're watching the World Cup, every single team there has already fought incredibly hard just to be in the room. That's why every game matters. Every single one. Now, why does this tournament only happen every 4 years? That's not an accident. The 4-year cycle was set up by FIFA, the organization that runs world football, in the 1930s. Back then, it was partly because international travel was slow and expensive. But here's the side effect nobody planned. The 4-year gap made the tournament sacred. Think about it. If the World Cup happened every year, it would just be another tournament. But because it only comes around every 4 years, players sometimes get only 2 or 3 chances in their entire career to win it. Some never get the chance at all. Imagine working your entire life towards something you only get a few attempts at. That pressure changes everything. Lionel Messi, widely considered one of the greatest football players who ever lived, waited until he was 35 years old to finally win it. He won every trophy possible at club level, every individual award. But for years, the one thing missing was a World Cup. When he finally lifted that trophy in Qatar in 2022, grown men cried watching it. Not just Argentines, people across the world who had followed his career for 2 decades. That's what the World Cup does. It creates stories no script